What's up, everyone? Happy Monday. Welcome to a very special reschedule of the SEO video show. Today we got Darani. He's going to tell us on how to get over 2 million clicks in 16 months. It's going to be a good one, guys. I got a bunch of questions. If you got questions, get them ready. Don't forget to visit today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. Looks like my internet's acting up again. Let me be right back. All right, guys. What's up, Hobby, my man? Happy Monday. All right, I see Ryan in the back. Hold on, let me make sure his audio is working. Ryan, what's up, my man? Can you hear me? Or maybe not? Check, 1 2 1 2. Ryan, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, cool. All right, Ryan.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Let me see. Maybe your volume's down a little bit. Let me see if I can bring up your audio.
I've got the gain thing here. One sec.
Okay.
I've got it maxed out now.
Oh, there you go.
Let's try that.
Yep. Looks good. Love it.
Good.
All right. Yep. Let me see. Let me make sure you're kind of pixelated. Let me make sure our connection's good here. I'm gonna lower my feed back to you just so it doesn't take up too much of your bandwidth. All right, there you go. Looking good. All
Does it look all right?
Yeah. Love it. All right, guys.
Good.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little intro and share some videos, and I'll introduce you in about maybe 8 minutes in.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, guys. Today's topic, we'll be talking about how to get 2 million clicks in 16 months with Darani. Don't forget to visit today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. Thank you, Hobby, for coming out on Monday. I know you're bummed out on Friday, but hey, we're here today, and today's going to be a great show. We got about 5 minutes to go. If you're here, be sure to say hi in the live chat. Stefan, hi everyone. Happy Monday. All right, guys, let me pull this up here. Don't forget to be shy. Don't be shy. Say hi in the live chat. Today's topics, we'll be talking about how to get 2 million clicks in 16 months. Don't forget to visit today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. If you see this logo, let me know how many times you see it, and I will shoot you a gift package from Hrefs. All right. Stefan. The topic will be pretty awesome. I mean, hobby. What kind of topic is that? This is a bunch of things. We're going to talk about Ryan's strategy on how he ranks. You get tons of traffic. If you got some questions for hobby, get them ready. All right, we got 3 minutes to go. I'm trying to pull in our comments here.
Can they see when I type in this or no?
Oh no, you have to log into the YouTube to type in the chat. Yeah, but just make sure you're on mute when you type. All right, guys. How to get 2 million clicks in 16 months. How many of y'all want 2 million clicks? I want 2 million clicks. You don't know, Ryan is a huge influencer in SEO in LinkedIn, Twitter, a lot of engagement, guys. Be sure to follow him. Search for Ryan on Twitter and on LinkedIn. I just believe you just search your name, right? Ryan Darani?
That's the one? Yep.
All right.
I like the music, man. It's good.
Oh, yeah. I actually had this all made custom. Like I told like a beat person I want like some funky hip hop, like almost like, yeah.
It's dope. I like it.
I found some beats that you produced. I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I saw some fire. I saw some fire on YouTube.
Back in the day, man. Back in the day.
Yeah, maybe at the end you can give us some bars. Love it.
Drop a quick 16.
All right. Let's see. All right, guys. Again, we'll be talking about how to get 2 million clicks in 16 months. Today's sponsor is hrefs.com/AWT. I'm trying to get our comments on the screen here. Let me try to make sure I get this on. All right, guys. I think I got it. All right. We got 1 minute to go. Let me go through the comments I see here. Ryan, we're excited to be here on the show. Hi, Dre and Ryan from Kobe. Carol, what's up, girl? Happy Monday. Ernesto, what's up, dog? What's up, fellas? Luther, my man. Welcome back. All right, guys, we got about 20 seconds to go. I'm going to get things ready now. If you have some more comments, leave them in the comments, and they will show up on screen. Again, today's topic is how to get 2 million clicks in 16 months. Don't forget to visit today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. All right, guys, I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started. No delay. Let's work. Wanna see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera, steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO video show where SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre De Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released in the past week into about 1 minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and my guest this week is SEO consultant Ryan Darani. And before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Hobby, Ryan, Stefan, Kobe, Carol, Ernesto, Luther. Welcome. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. Why are SEOs good at game shows? They know how to get quick answers.
do you get organically site links to show up on Google? All right, John Mueller shows us how.
So site links are the additional results that are sometimes shown below a search result, where it's usually just a one-line link to a different part of the website. And there's no meta tag or structured data that you can use to kind of like enforce a site link to be shown. And it's a little more that our systems try to figure out what is actually kind of related or relevant for users when they're looking at this one web page as well. And for that, our recommendation is essentially to have a good website structure, use and kind of show as a site link. And with that, it's not that there's a guarantee that any of this will be shown like that, but it kind of helps us to figure out what is related. And if we do think it makes sense to show a site link, then it'll be a lot easier.
B2B space, I've noticed that corporate pages with the more backlinks tend to pop up as site links. Do you have a strategy to pop up certain site links? Drop them in the comments below. OK, one tactic I incorporate into my SEO strategy is Twitter. Ryan Simmons tells us how to grow your Twitter account. Let's check it out.
One of the best things you can do on Twitter if you want to grow your account, and then you're not just going to look at that and say, oh, those were some great tweets. You're going to take inspiration from as insights into what other content you should create in the future. If you wrote a post and it went viral, you're going to take that same post, you're going to remix it a bit, and then you're going to share it again. And then you're going to do the same thing over and over and over again with different stories, different tweets, but with the same overarching theme. And by doing that, people are going to retweet it, they're going to engage with it, and your account is going to take off.
An SEO secret that many do not know about is Twitter Moments. One of the most recent guides on Twitter Moments SEO is by Jesper Neeson. The link is in the description. OK, some of you know I started a new role as a
famous referral programs back in the day, affiliate programs like we talked about. Like, you know, there's a lot of people writing about content, about SEO. And like, obviously, everybody who's doing that could be an affiliate of Growth Bar, and hopefully is. I spend a lot of my time doing outreach to those folks. This show, thank you for having me, Loren, is like a way, like you said, to reach a new audience and like share the story with the world. And then, you know, finally, like I come back to something, I'm not going to get the quote right, but like Jeff Bezos said, like, let your product do the talk. I'd rather spend on product than on marketing. And he's totally right, because like the conversations one customer has with another customer organically are like, you know, that's an acquisition right there. And you didn't pay for it other than to build the products.
Can you hear me okay, Drew?
Yeah, I can hear you. The thing is, I don't know, ever since I switched to a cable modem, man, my upload speed is just horrible right now. I just want to make sure.
What are you getting right now?
I'm getting, right now, my upload speed says I'm getting 30 megabytes per second, so I'm not sure why my software is, or YouTube's not getting the data. But let me see here. Let me just try this again. So it looks like my internet's fine. Let me try this. You know what? I'm going to stream it up. Try to see if I can stream this at a lower frame rate. Just for everyone that's tuning in right now, I'm trying to make sure my internet connection is good when I get to the interview, which is coming up in about a couple minutes. Hold on, let me just make sure I get this through here.
Yeah, what's mine? See, my upload speed's 50, so we should be good. My side.
Yeah, you're fine. You're actually pretty sharp, so you're looking good. Cool. Okay, so I'm right. All right, good. Okay, my connection just got better. All right, guys, I'm gonna go back into the last portion. Our next piece of news. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so the last video for this week was Lily Ray was on Marie Haynes' podcast and gave us a quick insight on EAT analysis. Let's check this one out.
Over time, and I think factoring these concepts into the algorithm. So like one example of something that we work with on clients a lot is like identifying where they do have EAT or demonstrated EAT, and understanding that they're probably not going to be able to rank outside of that wheelhouse very well, especially if it's on your money, your life topic. So one of the things we dive into with EAT analyses is like, you know, maybe this is a site that talks about all these different topics, but they don't have authoritativeness on all these topics. And we can see with the data, they do really well when they talk about these things. They aren't able to do as well in these things. So that can kind of inform like what your content strategy should look like. Of course, maybe you can break into these new areas, but it's going to take a really long time. So understanding where your site is an authority and understanding who the experts are that work at your company or that you can collaborate with, I think is the best approach to SEO nowadays, because trying to rank for all the things is just not possible in most cases anymore.
EAT is a framework I always use in my organic growth strategy. Do you know who else uses EAT in their SEO strategy? My guest today. Be sure to ask questions and I will address them in the order that they receive. Before I introduce our guest today, here's a word from our sponsor. Are you sick of your competitors outranking you in the search results? Your solution is Ahrefs Webmaster Tools, and it's free $99. This isn't one of your 14-day free trial offers. Instead, it's a super powerful tool that'll do a full website audit for you and keep working for you for free. It'll scan your site and prioritize precisely what you need to fix and improve for your search results. Visit ahrefs.com webmaster-tools for this free tool. Find the link below, and by checking our sponsors, you support this show. Now let's introduce our guest. Ryan is a full-time SEO consultant who offers the best SEO in Petersboro. He has worked alongside global premium brands and local startups across niches. He has several years of experience beating Google's algorithms. He's an official The Blueprint training consultant. He aims to be the best SEO consultant in the UK. Please welcome Ryan Darani.
Yeah.
Oh, you think like that?
Hobson, kiss Swizz, yeah. Yo, what now? Everybody's in the crowd, all eyes on you. What you gonna do? Be a bitch or show these motherfuckers that your flows are down. Yeah. So man, this in with a microphone, no medicine to ice and bone.
Brian, my man, welcome to the show. Sorry for all the
Thank you. You did me like that straight away on the start.
Yeah, I swear you dropped some nice bars there. I love your beats. Did you produce all those beats yourself, or is like you had a beat someone that had your own beats, or?
Yeah. I had a full-time producer back in the day.
Nice, love it. Okay, I want to get right into it. This is the first question I ask all my SEO professionals that comes on here. Like in 1 minute or less, how does Ryan get ranking on page 1?
Oh, good question. The best way to get rankings on page 1 is to, Mike Pierce said it best in one of your shows, look at the data, find out exactly what Google wants because it tells you right there in the SERPs, take all of the inspiration from your competitors, but then here's the secret sauce, is you do it 10 times better than anybody else. Doesn't matter what it is, whether that's rich images, video, audio files, whatever it needs to be, your content needs to be 10x and your links need to be just as good or better to be page 1.
Love it. First knowledge bomb of the day. We have your Nicole Elise. Proud of you. Right. All right. Let's go. Let's rewind this real quick. Ryan, take us way back into time, even before your rapping career. When did you first get into SEO?
So I think after my my rap career is when I changed careers to become an SEO.
Oh, okay.
So I'm an old man now. So I just turned 30 last year, and I started SEO when I was just coming into my 20s. So it's been about nearly a decade, well, just over a decade now. I got into it really just by chance. Like I did PPC, I did some social paid for Facebook way back in the day. And I just took a liking to it because it was challenging. It interested me, and to be honest with you, paid at the time got a little bit boring. So I thought career change, and I never looked back.
Love it. So, yeah, I mean, you actually start off like what they call today as a growth marketer, right? Because a growth marketer pretty much handles all these growth channels, whether it's paid, organic, and that's something that, you know, that's pretty big today as a role in the corporate industry. So I'm curious on, you said, what part of SEO actually made you interested in it?
Do you know what? It was everything that was, everything seemed achievable. When I first got into SEO, I was very naive. I thought, if these guys are generating traffic for free and I don't have to spend, thousands of pounds to compete with them like I was in paid, then why not give it a shot? And I was always big into data. Like I was a real data nerd looking at it, trying to identify trends and patterns. And again, my kind of love for music, I was a very good writer, big into content. So I understood how pages should look and how they should kind of flow. And that transition just helped, like, kind of happen very naturally for me.
Love it. Okay, so you love data. So I'm curious, like, how'd you learn it all then? Like, you're analyzing data. How'd you know how to apply all this? Like, how'd you end up learning SEO?
Oh, do you know what? A lot of it's trial and error. You have to be super patient in the early days, or at least I did. When I first started out, like there's tons of sources and resources to go online. And the first one I went onto was Moz. It kind of had that, that kind of whole beginner SEO section of their site. And that's where I started. And after that, I just kind of took as much as I could from their content and other resources content and applied them to sites that I owned. They were just little tiny local sites that I wanted to rank, break, test, and see what I could do with it. And that was maybe like a 1.5 2 year process before I was like, I got this, I figured this out.
Love it. Rank, break, test, guys. Rank, break, test. All right. I wanted to go into, since you were on Moz, so, were you following, Rand? Who were some other people that you're actually following, over 10 years ago?
Oh, back in the day, yeah. So Rand was probably the biggest that I was following. I was obsessed with him. Cyrus Shepard was another one, another big guy that I was following. And then I kind of came across a few of the others, like Lily Ray, Craig Campbell, and they all offer so much expertise in their own fields that I kind of fell in love with everybody's perspective and ideas of SEO. So Craig, he's kind of crazy wild black hat stuff. And you got Lily Ray, who is like big on EAT. So I kind of like amalgamate all of this knowledge over a course of however many years.
Love it, love it. Shout out to Craig. Craig is actually the one who actually pointed me to your rapping career. I was like, oh, this is fire. I had to make sure I included all that stuff in the show. And, you were talking before the show that you may actually even drop a few bars at the end. That'll be awesome if you can. Okay, so let's get to the topic of today's show. I found this when I was actually, we've been connected on LinkedIn. You put out actually great content on LinkedIn. So for those that are not following Ryan on LinkedIn, be sure to follow him. It's pretty much linkedin.com/in/Ryan Darani, right? Your name, is it just that?
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So make sure you follow him. He puts out great content, a lot of engagement, a lot of people asking questions on there. Be sure to ask questions. You're getting I'd say that's like free consulting on LinkedIn right there. So just ask him in the comments on his feeds. Okay, so one of the things that you actually posted on there is how to get 2 million clicks in 16 months, right? So kind of take us first, give us an overall story of what was this site about, and what was the problem you're trying to solve here and get that 2 million clicks.
Yeah, so the backstory on this particular site is it's in the health niche.
Okay.
So I've got experience in YMYL because of my agency background. I worked with a lot of finance, a lot of high-end luxury items, and in some cases like rehab, that kind of thing. And a friend of mine who was working on the account said, "Look, I'm going full-time. Would you be interested in a referral?" I said, yeah, took the conversation, and basically what their problem was, small team, small batch of content writers, not many processes, not really had a huge experience of SEO, and they're a startup. So any kind of form of has to be justified. Are you all good?
Oh yeah. So I don't know what happened there. Okay.
So basically I kind of spoke to the guys and I said, look, your play here is content, like your investment into links and PR at the moment, just, you're not going to be able to get your return on investment as quickly. Mm-hmm. So our aim was to be the best producer of content in the SERPs. naturally I'm competing against, Healthline, Very Well Health, WebMD, all of these like big boy authorities. And the way that I looked at it was, we can take some of this market share. I could take 2%, 3%, 10% of their market share, and it would be, a couple million visits per year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want the whole pie. I just want a piece of it. So the idea was, let's find the gaps where we can have enough topical authority, considering how small we were in the space, to take some of that market share back. And we absolutely doubled down on our content processes and how effective or how good the review process was.
Man. So, I mean, that's a big feat. Like, I didn't realize it was in the healthcare niche. And that's even harder than just ranking for any other niches out there. So I want to break this down now. I mean, especially, and it makes, especially with Eat, especially makes why, like, you follow Eat Well, because I mean, Eat is a big, like, one of those things that people follow within the is it YMYL? YMYL. Your money, your life. Yeah, your money, your life. Okay, so I'm curious. You're talking about content. You doubled down on spending. Like, what was your budget on this? Like, because I'm curious. Because if someone wants to replicate this, what was your budget on your content creation? About
the budget was small. We trialed a couple of things. So we trialed content houses, which was we sacrificed on quality a little bit to try and scale up and get content out quicker. But what that actually resulted in was that we had to invest more resources to edit, proof, and review that content because it just wasn't up to scratch. So to give you an estimate, a single piece of content can range anywhere between $500 to $700, and that's like the entire process. So that's from briefing, review, editing, the whole nine. So about $500 to $700, I would say, yeah.
Okay, nice marker there. Nice marker for some great content. Okay, so then take us now to, like, how did you start producing this content with such a small team then?
Processes. The best thing about having a small team is that you can chop and change processes really, really quick, and you don't have to kind of jump through hoops. You haven't got to kind of, train a team of 25, 30 people. It's very much test this. If it works, scale it. If it doesn't and it breaks, then we go back to the drawing board and we do it again. So the thing that I will say, if anybody's listening with a small content team, is get processes into your business as quickly as possible. Find out where your bottlenecks are and address those first. And then everything should be a little more streamlined.
Love that. Okay. So if you, can you give us an example of one of your processes that, like, is very important, that was crucial to your content creation? What was, like, one process?
I would say the most important process that we brought into the business was content briefing. So there's always this kind of back and forth between SEO and content, the kind of creative side of content. And I wanted to minimize that friction as much as possible. So we developed a process for content briefing, which meant that when the copywriter got hold of the brief and the content that they produced, it took our kind of post-edit time from, like, say 3-4 hours right down to maybe 30-45 minutes per post. So it's the front weight in research that allows you to get content out quick. And I've done it each way. So give the content writer not very much direction and just say, like, be creative with it. And I've done the opposite, where I've been really, really strict and just said, follow everything that I put in this brief. I would say it's a nice, happy medium where I'm at right now, where writers can be creative, but we have all of the SEO aspects covered within the brief.
Love it. This takes me right to my next question, because I mean, the briefs, right? The briefs, I'm pretty sure, is where you're doing all the content optimization. Or, like, if this brief is very, very important, so the writer can hit it on the spot with what you want. So I'm curious, can you walk us through it? Give us an example, or maybe what's kind of, you don't have to give us your secret sauce, but what is your content optimization scheme in your briefs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to share the whole thing. So
there you go. Let's do it.
Yeah, why not, huh? So my process is very much like, it's keyword selection first and foremost. So making sure we identify these topical gaps before we do anything else. Once you've established your kind of your keyword that you want to go after, I bring it into phrase right off the bat. And I use phrase to basically just do manual SERP observation. So rather than opening up a bunch of tabs, scrolling through the SERPs, phrase will just do it for me right there and then. And what I'll do is I'll basically, when I structure my page, I structure my headers in order of the questions I think the users are going to ask. So if it's diabetes, I might think, what is diabetes? What are the symptoms? How can I be treated? How can I reverse it? How can I manage it? I'm trying to get in the mindset of, if I was a user right now, what kind of hierarchy is this going to make sense to me? If I think everybody focuses too much on the kind of nitty gritty, I'm thinking as a user, absorb this information the best way I can and get them to their end goal as quickly as possible. So I set the header structures, and then within each header structure, I give content prompts to say, maybe consider this, consider that. And then I'll also say, based on like semantically grouping the keywords, is within this header section, make sure you reference these 15 keywords and make sure you have an internal link to this page. And where I need to, so like data, stats, citations, I'll also group them into the content briefs as well where necessary. And then that's pretty much it. That's the first part of the process. And then they go and fill that out, get the scores as close as possible. And my post edit is very small now because they catch on very quick, and I make sure the process is very it's detailed.
Damn! Love it. We got Ryan's secret sauce of content optimization on his briefs. Be sure to rewatch that and rewind it and rewatch it. Okay, so I want to go into, EAT, right? EAT is something that you factor into your strategies. Like, how does EAT play a role in your research, or is it also, in your whole strategy?
I mean, I look at EAT as, we want to create businesses and brands on the internet, not just another website. So when I consider EAT, I try to put it in a real life scenario. So if a new store had opened up, how do you know that the products you buy from that store or the information you get from that store is something that you can trust? You take into consideration things like word of mouth, reviews. If it's a store, how many products they have of a particular thing that they sell. And when you put it into a real life concept or a real world situation, EAT comes first and foremost. So whether that's you're doing links or you're producing content or you're, whatever it might be, if someone was to come and see this in real life right now, see this brand in real life right now, would they come in, look around the store and leave and go and find the next competitor down the street? Or would they stick around because you've hooked them and they can trust the information, they can trust what you're giving them? That's ultimately what I want to do and try to feed users as much as possible.
Love it. We have a huge fan, Richard. Hi, Ryan. Huge fan. All right, so I want to go into something back to your briefs, because you kind of mentioned this. This is something I actually didn't realize I put in my briefs. You actually go ahead and input your internal links. You said you have like some kind of internal link in your briefs. So what is your internal linking system or strategy there?
Typically, so this is what I do with content, and it's something that people, they have mixed views on, but this is just how I do it. So if I take a site on, I will go after, or try to go after, a particular category of content at a time. So I'm not going to come in and say, let's cover 16 different topics and, drip feed 2 pieces of content in each. I'm going to say, let's take one topic and produce 150 articles. Once we get that absolutely solid, we've built relevancy, we've built authority in that space because of the authors, we move on then. And when you set up your content strategy or, your keyword research, you've got that plan from the offset. So realistically what pieces of content are going to connect together. So I define my internal links up front before I do anything else. So they're already set. Once the content's produced, you just put them straight in the briefs and away you go.
Excellent. Love it. Okay, Jenny Abubaya is such a great advice as always. A past guest here, guys. If you remember Jenny, she was on a few months ago, so be sure to check her episode out as well. Okay, so I want to go into something that you also do. Like you actually mentioned that you do a lot of testing. And you're testing content, and you do like A/B testing with your blogs and product pages. Can you kind of give us an example of like how you're testing and you're kind of like reasoning and how you determine a winner?
Yeah, so one of the most recent tests that I ran was on the health site.
Okay.
We were kind of in two minds. Like, we put so much effort into producing the content, and we always perceived it as, we are viewing this very much in the lens of a marketer rather than, you know, what a user actually perceives this as. So we rolled out, I don't know if you've come across it, you probably have, is the Panda survey, which is basically Google's way, or I can't remember who released it. They said, here are some questions, or 10, 15 questions to ask your users to basically validate whether or not they trust the information on the page. So we basically added at the bottom of the article, was this article helpful, yes or no? Captured that. We'll get a general sense of feedback over a period of, say, 4 weeks. If the article is unhelpful or overwhelmingly negative rather than positive, then we know we need to go back and assess what that is. Other than that, we A/B test design every single week. So whether that's personalized call to actions, whether that's sticky navigations, whether that's table of contents, jump links, whatever it might be, we test every single week, multiple times a week. And the way that we determine the winner is just basically we determine, for example, we want this blog to be a 10% attribution of sales. So which CTA is assisting that goal better? And one is normally the clear winner. And once we have that, we roll it out site-wide.
Love it. Okay, so when you optimize for like conversions, are you just doing CTA, or are you even playing with messaging on like an actual content, or is it just more of like just the CTA on going into converting, or are you actually changing content around?
Yeah, we do the whole nine, from sticky banners, the colors of the banners, the messaging that you deliver to the customer, pricing psychology. Like, for example, if the price was $150, now it's 115. How much did that trigger a response between men and women? Where the most important content sits? Is it above the fold as soon as the page loads? Is it encouraging people to click down to see it? Like, we do everything. It's not just call to action based, because a lot of the time a purchase is normally research driven. So I try to capture all of that on the page in the best way possible, but as quickly as possible.
Love it. Are there any optimization tools that you use? Because I'm curious myself on trying to test some things.
So we have Crazy Egg, Hotjar, like the standard stuff. And I just use Google Optimize to roll out A/B tests.
Nice. Okay, so I want to get into more of like how you, and guys, if you guys have any questions, please ask them in the live chat and I will ask them in the order that they received. So I want to get into more like how you go after individual topics then, like how to build authority. So what's your process around that?
It's a little bit mad scientist. So like, you always start with competitor analysis first. So you identify, maybe, like, for example, in my particular case, we had access to a world-renowned doctor or physician in a particular area. So I'm like, okay, so we can leverage that so much more than we can just, freelance writers who have experience guest posting in, for example, diabetes. So for me, I try to look for, within the business, what resources do we have to go after a particular topic first and foremost. There will normally be a standout expert at a particular subject. So awesome. I know that, for example, heart disease is the topic I'm going after. You need to then run and understand what your chances are of ranking for heart disease related terms. And 9 times out of 10, in this industry, big authorities have covered most of the things that you would want to go after. So I just try to do everything and anything I can. So for example, topical coverage, people look at search volume like it's like the holy grail. It's not. What you're actually looking for is the intent of that click and how close it is to a conversion, because traffic is vanity, revenue is sanity. Right? So we want to fill that funnel, top, middle, bottom. So I'll group my content into those sections. And then we'll try and assess, I call it, just say probability to rank. And then we go after everything. So whether that's zero search volume terms, which I know a lot of people talk about these days, they have tons of potential. Whether that's like the top of the funnel hub page, which has 100,000 searches per month, I will basically fill the entire journey top to bottom as well as I can until I feel, if I was the user, I'd be able to answer all of my queries on this website in order that I search them.
Wow. Man, dropping these hardcore knowledge bombs. Guys, be sure to rewind and get this process down. Okay, we have Charles Float in here. Ryan's a legend. Hope everyone is doing well. Charles was another past guest here on the show. Be sure to watch his past episode. And we had a question come in by Cyclane. Cyclane asked, how to build topic cluster and how to build topical relevance, best tools.
Okay, so there's a couple tools that you can use for clustering. I've used Keyword Insights, and I've also tried Keyword Cupid. I believe Surfer SEO has a version of Content Planner now, which clusters content and topics together. How to build topical relevance. The best way to do that is to pick a theme of content and go as deep as possible on that topic, as you know, within resource and within reason. So that I always say it's site breadth and page depth. So that's the best way to build topical relevance on site. Off site is leverage your authors and have them write guest posts, have them featured in webinars, podcasts, whatever it might be, in that particular topic. And then, again, this is like standard stuff, but schema markup your content, connect the dots where they've been featured. Boom, you've got topical relevance.
Love that. Site breadth and page depth. Man, you're dropping some quotes here that I can use later on. All right. Stefan asks, hi, Ryan. As a consultant, how do you get clients?
Oh, okay. So I have one method, and that is LinkedIn. LinkedIn marketing has been I would say 95% of my revenue over the last nearly 2 years. So if you can crack it and get LinkedIn engagement, these are where the whales are, that are, big dogs in companies, decision makers. That would be if you're a consultant, double down on that platform for sure.
All right, show them the money. Okay, so I'm curious off this, and this may be a little, since we're on that topic of LinkedIn, what are some strategies that you can help us build our engagement on LinkedIn? I know you get a lot of engagement. People ask you questions on there. I know it took a while for you. I don't know how long it took you to crack it and get all that going, but how can we get started?
Yeah, it took me, I'll be super honest, it took me like 4 to 6 months to really start picking up traction.
Wow.
The way that I did it in the early days before I had any kind of network was I would spend 30 minutes every single day in the morning or in the evening engaging with people that had, similar interests in me, or people who had asked questions about SEO that I could go in and answer. And I did that every day religiously. Because what happens is, if you're not familiar with LinkedIn, is that if you comment on somebody's post, their network might see that you've responded to that post. If you've responded in a good way and you've provided value, chances are you'll get some, requests. People will start following you. Other than that, I grew my network I was very strategic with what I did. I didn't just accept everybody's request. I didn't just try and get, 5,000 connections to look like I had, a huge following. I went after people that I thought genuinely either could value from us being connected on LinkedIn or potentially would be a client for me someday down the future. So engagement is key, and engagement early on in your LinkedIn post is the best thing that you can achieve. It's called the golden hour. If you can achieve comments, likes, shares of your content within the first hour, LinkedIn's algorithm will spin that up and fire it out for the rest of the day, and you will have unbelievable levels of engagement. And then the final thing that I did was, if people commented on my LinkedIn post like you see, I go back and respond to comments as, with as much insight as I can. And I kind of learn over a period of time that you have to know your audience. Like spent a lot of time attracting other SEOs when in actuality, I wanted to attract potential businesses that wanted to work with me. So I tailored my content around that, and it took me 6 months to crack it. But once you do, repeat, scale, test, break, and that's it.
Love it. Repeat, scale, test, and break. All right. Okay, we got another question here from Seclane asking keyword cluster and keyword hub. Question mark.
So keyword cluster and keyword hub are essentially the same thing. I'm assuming. So cluster is also known as hub and spoke. It's also known as silo. It could be a physical silo, a virtual silo. They all basically mean the same thing. And if you're not familiar with it, it means that you have for example, a top performing keyword. So say, for example, it's heart disease. That's your main hub. Mm-hmm. And then beneath it, you have all of your supporting pages of content around heart disease. So think about who, what, why, where, is, can, those kind of questions. And they all link up to the top page, and they all link between each other. And that is a hub and spoke strategy.
Love it. All right, and we have Hobby. I think he's joking around here, but hi, Ryan. How to find the best SEO expert in India who speaks British English? Man, I feel just Google that, right?
Yeah, Google it.
All right, Hobby. Are you drinking already? All right, I want to get into a few more things here. We have a few, I want to talk about one thing when it comes to optimizing for corporations and stuff like that. What's your take on your brand, on brand and brand influence on the growth of your SEO strategy?
Brand is the center of everything that you should do if you want longevity in the SERPs. Mm-hmm. When I think about the content, the design, the messaging, even down to link building, you have to ask, do you want your brand associated with whatever it is that you're putting out, whether that is a guest post, whether that is a digital PR run, mm-hmm. Or the content that you produce. Your brand, again, we kind of go back to it, is Google wants brands, not websites. So the more you try to build a brand, the better. And every decision you make within a SEO campaign that is going to last you 10, 15 years, your goal is to build that brand over that period of time. So brand is central to absolutely everything.
Love it. Brands, not websites. More quotes by Ryan Darani. Okay, I wanted to go into, we have a little more time here. I had a couple questions I wanted to ask if we had a little more time here. And I want to go into something where you talk about how long tail keywords can mean a deep understanding of a topic. What was your, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I think the way that, again, I think as if I was a searcher. So the more obscure the search, or the different ways that people might search for something, the more involved in that topic they are. Mm-hmm. And if you can mirror that level of research, it does show that, hey, you're not just a surface value brand. You're not just going off and researching the same topics as everybody else in the same space, and you're offering the exact same advice on this piece of content. When I think about how can I add unique value to customers, is how would they, how do they operate once they've, say, for example, bought a product, or when they're super deep into an investigation before they buy, a standing computer desk. How am I answering these specific questions, whether that's about a specific brand, mm-hmm. a specific height, a specific size of desk? If you can define that and not just go over the top level details that are available on Amazon and everywhere else, mm-hmm. that shows a real depth of knowledge on a topic. And that is what Google is ultimately looking for. Is they don't want more imitations. They want people that understand something so deeply that they can learn from it. So that's how I perceive it.
Love it. So, and how are you finding these long tail keywords?
You can use GSC. You can go digging in forums. You can go into Quora, Reddit. People that are just in their everyday life, asking questions, talking about certain subjects. 9 times out of 10, there'll be an opportunity for you to create a page for it. And again, these will be zero search volume most of the time. But if you can capture, hundreds of these pages, then you're not only just kind of saying, oh yeah, we can talk about the symptoms, we can talk about this, we can talk about that. You'll get into the nitty gritty of how do you manage diabetes when you're a 45-year-old woman? Mm-hmm. You've kind of gone to that depth to show, hey, we care and we understand.
Oh, love that. Love that. Okay, we got a pop quiz here from Hobby. This is my last question from the audience. He asks, SERP reporting is the same as off-page performance reporting. True or false?
Is this a trick question? Are these terms that I just don't know about?
I guess I don't know. What do you think? SERP reporting is the same as off-page performance reporting.
Absolutely not. No. No. SERP reporting is you're looking at the SERP, what the layout is, who ranks. Off-page performance reporting is what kind of links you're building.
There you go. Good one. Good one. Love that. Okay. Enough from the audience. I'm going to go ahead and ask my last question here. I asked all my SEO professionals, if someone wants to get into the SEO game, become an SEO professional, what would your advice be to them?
The best advice I can give is, and this is something that I've learned, it's taken me a long time to get here, is leverage all of the people in the industry as much as you can. So whether that's Twitter, whether that's blog posts, YouTube videos like this one, leverage all of it, because there's a lot of smart people out there. The thing that I will say is don't believe everything that everyone says until you've tested and validated it yourself. That is where you will find the separation of, a good SEO and a great SEO, is that they will take what people say and say, okay, fair enough, I can go and test this. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work for me. If it does work, then, you can kind of implement that into a strategy. So learn as much as you can, test as much as you can, and don't be afraid to get things wrong and ask questions, because there are a lot of smart folks that will make you feel like you're not smart enough to be in this industry, but you definitely are. You just have to be confident enough to say, hey, I don't understand this, but I'd love to learn, test, and go away and kind of figure it out from there.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so I wanted to go into, that concludes my episode right here, but I asked you in the very beginning, this show's all about music. If you can drop some bars for us, that would be awesome if you're up for it.
I would, but I've got neighbors, and like this room is right for the acoustics.
All right. Okay, so thank you so much, Ryan.
Thank you, man. I appreciate being on here.
All right, can you hold on 1 second right before I sign off? Hold on. All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you this Friday. Peace out.
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started. No delay. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul. Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, cause the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre DeVera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo!